Hello everyone and welcome back to the Reddit Nice channel. My name is Anthony and today I'll be discussing a story involving an OP having to deal with his wife making a decision without his knowledge and having to adjust with the lifestyle she left behind. If you could do me a favor and like, comment, share, and subscribe to this video, it helps with the algorithm and it helps me become a better content creator. Matter of fact, another way to help with the algorithm is to actually watch more of my previous videos. I recommend you watch the ones that involve my actual voice and not the ones where I first started, because those were ones that involved AI voice, and honestly I want to step away from that kind of content. But I've done enough jaw jacking. It's time to actually get to the actual story. And this story is from the True Off My Chest subreddit with the title "My 50M Wife, Female 48, Abandoned Me 2 months ago to find herself." And this was posted on October 27th, 2023. Sounds like this might be a heavy one. My wife's married family has a history of dementia, developing memory issues in their mid to late 50s. Her mom, grandmother, and several other relatives on her mom's side have developed dementia. Her mom lived with us for 4 years until earlier this year. Father is dead. Our kids are independent and out of the house. Oldest is in her last semester of college and the younger enlisted. The last 4 years were tough on us. Our kids, daughter moved for college but moved back during COVID, and our marriage. Living with someone with dementia is brutal. We have talked a lot the last year about taking the remaining college funds, our regular savings, sell or rent the house. We were ready to downsize anyway, quit our jobs and travel for a year or until the money runs out. We just have to wait for her mom to move into a home. I understand her anxiety about developing dementia, and I was burned out. You live through COVID working remote, a wife working remote, a college and high school student taking remote classes, and a mother-in-law with dementia, and see how you hold up. Space finally opened up and we were able to move her mom into a care facility. I finally thought I had a chance to breathe. When we moved Mary's mom's out, Mary's mental health took a huge downward spiral. I went from caring for her mom to caring for her. She felt guilty about putting her mom in a home and had lots of anxiety about developing dementia. Our plan was to start our traveling summer 2024. 2 months ago, I get home and she's left a note. My friends call it Exhibit A. Basically, she was going on her trip without me. She had quit her job, took most of the savings, and wasn't sure when she'd be back. Maybe a year, maybe sooner. She knew I'd understand. Her location is turned off and my calls go directly to voicemail. I text the kids a picture of the note. We have our own checking accounts for direct deposits of our paychecks, but we transfer most into a joint account to pay the household bills and savings. We both have access to the main savings account. We have joint credit cards we use for household expenses. The 2 cars and mortgage are joint. We both have our own small savings accounts, our own retirement accounts, equally funded, and our own credit cards for gifts and fun things. I closed all joint cards and accounts. I waited a month to see if she'd come back, hopefully before she spent our savings. After receiving only 1 text the first month, I went to a lawyer. She basically said there was very little to do right now other than change the beneficiaries of my retirement accounts and life insurance. Yay, my wife gets nothing else if I die alone while she's having our adventures. It was only a month and there was no way to serve our papers. My lawyer advised me to keep paying the mortgage and the cars. The cost of trying to get a judge to approve the sale of joint assets was more than making payments. I didn't want to ruin my credit by letting one of our cars get repossessed, but I can't sell it because she's on the title. I get random texts and she sporadically posts on Instagram. Of course, she has comments turned off. I want to block her so bad, but my lawyer advised me that it's better to maintain a communication channel that's not through our kids. Her last post was from Hawaii. She put in the comments how great a husband I was for letting her take this trip. I'm barely making it, paying 2 cars, a mortgage, household bills, insurance, hoping there are no emergencies because I have no savings, and she's enjoying our trip. F her. I'm so pissed at her. I helped take care of her mom for 4 years, and her when she fell apart after her mom moved into a memory care home, and she returns the favor by abandoning me. I'll never get to take this trip and have to put off retirement. My only solace is the kids are pissed at her, but they'll probably forgive her eventually. Double F her. I'm no fool. She's hooking up with guys. She looks good. She'll have zero problem getting men. I texted her and asked if she was sleeping around. A week later, she responded that she wasn't sure. Yeah, whatever. So I'm drinking alone on a Friday night, and she's in somewhere, probably on a beach, enjoying life. Triple F her. Edit, correct the typos. Edit number 2. My lawyer has given me a bunch of advice and options. It was just way more than I could possibly include in this post. I could definitely push the issue harder, and I might need to at some point, but all that work is very expensive. Finding her, serving her, getting a judge to sign off, that's not cheap. I'm following up soon, and I plan on talking about the savings in my finances. Until I paid all the bills and realized how little was left, it didn't hit me that I had to worry about money. Wow, this is a ridiculous start to the story. There are comments and updates for sure, but what a turn. Like, why did she just decide to leave? And not only that, why did she not try to discuss it with her husband and how she was feeling the way she was feeling? She just took all the money and ran. I can't respect a person like that. I can't. That's not fair to him. That's not fair to their kids. That's not fair to anyone that knows her, because not only did she take all the money and run off, she lied online about, oh, my husband let me do this and he's so great and awesome. And it's like, you didn't even tell him what you were doing. You wrote a note. You wrote a farewell note so you can go and blow all the money and go have your adventures while he's stuck at home dealing with all the responsibilities that you decided to leave behind. Does she believe that he's going to welcome her back with open arms? Is that what she thinks is going to happen? This is very infuriating for me. Like, to have a partner, and mind you, they're in their early 50s. Well, OP is 50 and she's 48, but that's middle age near old age. Like, they've been together for so long, and to do something like this to your partner, that's not cool with me. That's not fair. That's just, you just used him for money. It sounds like you just used OP for money, and then you got scared about the dementia thing, so you decided you're just gonna run off. I don't like OP's wife right now. If you can't tell, I do not like OP's wife. I don't think there's anything that the wife can do to fix this or to get back on OP's graces. Like, if this situation happened to me, I would be absolutely livid. I would be furious. My blood would be boiling at the mere thought of this person, or seeing them post on Facebook or anything. Like, anything that will remind me of that person would just set my blood ablaze. And yeah, the fact that even though he went to a lawyer and said, hey, what can we do about this? And the lawyer's like, honestly, we can't do nothing right now. You're just gonna have to keep doing what you're doing. You're just gonna have to struggle for a little while. Like, it's cool. Like, this man isn't already struggling dealing with, well, he helped take care of his wife's mother for 4 years because she had dementia, and I know that's not easy. And then to turn around thinking that everything was safe, thinking that he did his job, thinking that he took care of responsibility, his wife just leaves. What the hell, man? I almost went too long on a tangent, but there are some relevant comments about this situation. The first relevant comment is from King of Leprechauns saying, thanking you for letting her take this trip is basically her saying, when I get through living the single life, I'll be coming back to the comfort and security of married life. When she returns, I'd say, welcome home. Here are your walking papers. And OP responds with, she's 100% under the delusion that she's coming back to a marriage. She's had a few conversations with her daughter, and she's convinced I'll understand and forgive her. Naive Subject 65 says, tell your daughter to pass along the message that you're filing for divorce for abandonment and see if this gets you some traction. I don't generally like the idea of going through kids, but they need to have your back on this. Maybe even tell her they'll cut her off as well if she keeps doing this to you and the family. Maybe even start posting about how she's living a good life and letting your friends and family know what kind of a pickle this has put you in. Everyone probably assumes you're on board if you're not purposely driving the true narrative. He's kind of got a point, I'm not going to lie. That's a very solid comment. OP responds with, she only hears what she wants. I asked her to send me an address to serve her papers. She only told me that we'll work it out when she comes home. The fuck we will. My daughter tells her all the pain she's causing, but she just says that she only has 5 to 10 years left until she gets dementia. It's impossible to know if she'll even develop dementia, but shouldn't she be spending this with her family? OP's got a point. If you do have a situation like that where your mortality is on a ticking clock, shouldn't you be trying to spend that time with family instead of going out and basically stealing all the money and living it up in Hawaii? That doesn't sound like a responsible choice to me. But before I go back on another tangent, because I could feel myself starting to get upset again, there is an update, and this update it was posted on November the 13th of 2023. And the update goes, an update from my original post. I'm feeling much more positive now that the financial situation has become a little more manageable. Basically, I'm running up debt that will get paid off when I sell the house. Even with lawyer fees, I have 6 to 8 more months before I have to worry about money, assuming there are no emergencies. My friend's wife gave me some good advice. Don't go from being a hero to a villain in your kids' eyes. How I talk about and treat my wife will determine my future relationship with my kids. I don't give a damn about my wife, but I don't want to make her a sympathetic figure or drive them away from both of us. I followed up with a lawyer. Basically, she said we're going to have her pay back, quote unquote, the savings she took through a reduction in her share of the assets. Any division of assets will include the savings she took. She'll also have to repay the money I spent maintaining the household while she was gone. There is plenty of equity in her share of the house and her retirement plans to cover that. She said that our finances are so intertwined after nearly 25 years of marriage, my wife is going to get some share of the assets. Best case is she agrees to the terms of the divorce and is relatively cheap and quick. Otherwise, it gets complicated and expensive. She gave me a lot of options and how much I can expect to spend, so I decided to just mostly wait. I got a couple of credit cards with promo rates for purchases and transfers. That gives me breathing room and I can conserve cash. I'll just pay them off when I sell the house. Now that my financial situation is less stressful, I'm actually enjoying her being gone. I'm free to do whatever I want, whenever. I don't have to cook or clean or take care of anyone. The house is quiet for the first time I can remember. I love my wife, but her mental health weighed down our marriage. On balance, it was worth it until now. The first month or so, I expected her to be there whenever I get home. When someone was at the door, or if I heard noises, I think it was her. I checked the doorbell cam obsessively. I'm not looking forward to her returning. It has to happen, but when she comes back, I'll have to deal with her, the divorce, getting the house ready to sell, dividing all of our stuff, and finding a new place to live. I'm hoping she'll stay away until after New Year's, but my daughter says she thinks her mom will be home for Christmas, either to stay or visit. My lawyer will have papers ready to serve her. Hopefully she'll just agree to the terms and continue her travels. People had some great advice. Renting or selling the house? Not really feasible right now, since I'd have to fix some stuff and get it ready to sell/rent. Since I need a place to live, the amount I net each month, rent, mortgage, rent on new apartment, storage unit, equals not worth it. My kids' room are full of their stuff, and I don't want to spend the time and effort to clear them out and put them in storage. Getting a HELOC. This was great advice. I didn't realize I didn't need both people to get a loan. If I need more money, I can go this way. In the short term, the promo rates on the credit cards were cheaper and easier than getting a HELOC. Serving my wife divorce papers or getting a divorce in absentia. This is something I thought I might need to do eventually, but the cost in lawyer fees goes up exponentially in cases like this. I'm comfortable just waiting for now. Look at the phone bill to see where she's at and possibly going. I did look at her usage and did notice that she doesn't post on social media until after she leaves the place. Like when she posted about Hawaii, she made a call that day that originated in Los Angeles. She posted about a cruise and I figured out the dates. Trying to serve her at this point, possibly, but it ended a couple of days before she posted. She tried adding international calling to her line, but I blocked it, so she removed her phone from our account. I'm going to be honest here, the more that I hear this story, the more I feel like this wasn't just an impulse from the wife. This feels like she kind of planned this out beforehand and just didn't want to deal with anyone ruining her good time as she goes around the world spending all the money. I am very glad that the husband is deciding. I'm glad that OP is deciding to actually move forward with trying to get this situation over with, and he's actually becoming comfortable being by himself again. Because, at least in my experience when it comes to breakups and stuff like that, an issue that arises is being comfortable just being by yourself again. A lot of times people don't know how to go back into that mindset, and it wrecks them from the inside. But OP appears to be handling it quite well, despite the fact that OP and his wife have been together for over 2 decades. That is a serious amount of time to spend with somebody, and that amount of time just makes it all the more shameful on the wife to do something like this. Like, they have a family together, they have kids, they have children that are now in college and trying to set up their own lives, and instead of you guys riding off into the sunset together, the wife just decides, oh, it is my time, it's not our time, it's my time, and then she decides to leave. Like, I don't like that. And I really don't like how she is on social media and is telling everybody, hey, I just want to say thanks to my husband for letting me do this, and I didn't do anything nefarious at all. I didn't betray his trust or the family's trust at all. I didn't plan to just walk out on everybody. No, this was planned. We both talked about this, and he was okay with me leaving. That I don't like. That's, to me personally, I feel like the wife was waiting for this, knew she was going to do this years in advance, and thinks that the husband is just going to let it happen and just let the cards fall where they fall and just be okay with it because they've been together for so long. I can't wait for the reality check when she comes back. I cannot wait. I'm hoping there's one. I don't know if there is one, but I'm hoping there is one because I have not read this story. But before I go too far off on a tangent, there were some there were some comments to this update. And one of them is from Z Eldepin that says, "Oh my gosh, I'm infuriated on your behalf. The audacity of, quote, my husband is so great for letting me take this trip, unquote." I just said the same thing. "The petty in me hopes she'll be home for Thanksgiving because I want her world to explode. OP responds by saying she told her family she won't be home for Thanksgiving. Nobody told her that my daughter and I are spending Thanksgiving with her family though. She can see the post of us having a good time without her. Another comment from Old Gal Miss PT goes, please change the locks on the house so she can't just waltz back in while you were out one day. I'm so angry for you. I've been married for 23 years, and if my husband did this to me, God help anyone between me and him. OP responds by saying, she left her keys. I changed the code on the security system, the passphrase, and password. I also found a new hiding place for the emergency key we had in the backyard. Another comment from Love Being an Asshole goes, so she's just going to blow through all the money and then assume she'll take her back and care for her when dementia hits her? And OP responds with, seems to be her plan, but it's not mine. I like that attitude, OP. You keep your head on your good shoulders, man. And there is another update. This appears to be the last update. And this was made back in January 28th of 2024. My wife texted me in the middle of December that she'd be home for Christmas. I told her that we, our daughter and I, would be at my brother's. She obviously wasn't welcome. I'd leave her car in the driveway and the FOB in the backyard. She wasn't allowed in the house unless I was there. She didn't have the keys to get in, and she spent her Christmas with her sister. When we got back, I met with her. I decided not to be overly confrontational because I didn't want to give her the satisfaction of thinking I cared enough to be mad. She was taken aback about how detached I was. I could tell it bothered her that I didn't show her much emotion, not even anger. I just wanted her to agree to a divorce. This is a summary of several different meetings both with and without our daughter. She hasn't wanted to meet with her mom alone yet. I asked why she left without telling anyone. She said she didn't want to wait a year. She didn't want anyone talking her out of it. She didn't want to work anymore. She wanted to leave before her mental health got worse. I'm sure it's mostly because she didn't want me to stop her from taking the money. She knew I would take care of everything with the kids and house when she left. We had decided to go summer of 2024 for a few reasons. Packing everything and getting the house ready to sell was going to be a lot of work. We wanted to make sure our daughter graduated college, got a job, and was settled. We wanted to make sure we had money when we got back. We wouldn't have a house, cars, or jobs, so we needed money because it could take months to find work and a place to live. We didn't want to have any worries or deal with a mess back home. At some point in our planning, she began questioning, to herself, not me, if she ever wanted to go back to her old life. She didn't want to work full-time or buy a house and stay in one place after we got back. She wasn't sure what she wanted, but she didn't think she could figure it out talking to me. I told her that's the reason we were taking the trip, to figure those things out together, to see what we wanted for the next part of our life. I asked her why didn't she just get a divorce before she left. Then she wouldn't have had to do this behind our backs, and she would have had plenty of money without stealing our joint savings. She claims that she didn't want a divorce, that she wanted us to live whatever life she figured out. I told her that's not how marriages work, one person deciding for the other. In talking/texting our daughter, her family, my texts and voicemails, she realized I might not forgive her. She was right about that. So she might have to visualize a future without me. This is where I had hoped she would say some stupid shit like she was going to squander all her money living in a van and make travel vlogs, or she met some guy that she needed to wire money to so they can open an ice cream shop in Alaska. Instead, she wants to be a digital nomad, working part-time, fully remote, and living in new places. She tried to convince me to go with her, but I'll never be able to trust her. Plus, I don't love her anymore. Traveling like that for a few years doesn't sound bad, but she doesn't have a job or any work lined up. She's not in her 20s, and that way of living will get old quick. No close friends, no family. I want her to make it work so she won't be here trying to get back in our lives. How are the kids doing? Our son wouldn't have seen us the entire time she was gone anyway. He only responds to her with very short text. He told me she wanted to see him, but he said he was too busy and wouldn't be able to get away. He lives in the barracks, so it's an easy excuse to avoid her. My daughter stopped talking/texting her. She's pretty upset. Her worry turned to anger when she realized her mom wasn't having a mental breakdown, but was just being selfish. If her mom was sticking around, they could probably work through it eventually. I just care that my daughter is happy, so whatever she decides, I'll support. Number 2, did she spend all the money? About half. I think she realized she needed to figure it out before she completely ran out of money. Number 3, did she sleep with anyone? I didn't ask because I didn't care. Asking would imply I wanted her back, or it would matter. Even though I didn't ask, she claims she didn't. Not sure if she's lying or not. She might just be saying that because she doesn't want the kids to have another reason to be mad at her. Number 4, does she feel bad for what she put us through? She claims she does, and she wishes she had handled it differently. She said getting away and figuring herself out was best for her. I told her she was just being selfish. When she first left, we were worried something would happen to her and we would never see her again. She's always been self-centered. I told her she's taking the easy route and letting everyone else handle the difficult parts. If she gets sick, kids will take care of her. Goes broke, live with family. Abandon everyone, they'll forgive her. She thinks her siblings and our children will let her live with them like we let her mom live with us. I'm sure when she visualizes her future, she sees her kids there. She might not be, and definitely not the same way they were before. Despite how it might sound, I'm actually really happy with how it all turned out. Our divorce is far from final, but we've agreed on the big things. We'll sell the house, how to split the retirement and profit from the house, how to pay back the money she took, and what I spent maintaining the household. I got most of what I wanted from the settlement, and she'll soon be, mostly, out of my life. I won't have to pay alimony, and because she's choosing to make significantly less money than she was, I won't be forced to support her. That would have been a kick to the teeth. She isn't my responsibility anymore, and I won't have to care for her if she does get sick or goes broke. I figured I'd start dating again. I didn't realize a 50-year-old man with children out of the house, a good job, and in decent shape would be a catch. I'm not fighting women off with a stick, but I've had a lot more interest than I was expecting. It's been kind of nice meeting new women. I've worked out the numbers, and I'll be doing pretty well after everything is settled, and I only have to support myself. It's not where I want to be at 50, getting divorced and using Reddit as free therapy sessions. But I'm happier now than I've been in a while. I'm even planning a little vacation of my own. P.S. Thank you to everyone that has responded and reached out. It means a lot. And before I give my final piece, I will read a couple of the relevant comments that came through. One of them is from Vocal Boots that says, I have been regularly thinking of you, especially over Christmas. I'm glad you've got things sorted and are happy. Your ex-wife is selfish and an idiot. At some point, she's going to realize that she made a huge mistake and lost the people closest to her. I wish you lots of luck with your dating. As someone else said, please stick to 35 plus. And I hope you have a very happy and very loving future. Oh, that was a good comment. OP goes, a lot of women that age either have young kids or are looking to have kids soon. Nothing wrong with that. I've already raised my kids. Well played. Careless Welder 4048 goes, sir, you are a catch. FYI, don't date anyone under 30. Cheers to a new life. OP goes, I just recently got everyone out of the house. I'm not dating anyone that has young kids or want kids. Not that it would matter if they did. I took care of that a while back. Oh, okay, OP. As far as my final thoughts go, I think OP did the right thing. I think OP did the smart thing for himself and for his kids. OP's wife, or ex-wife, really showed her cards. She really showed how much of an ass that she can actually be. And it's very disappointing to see a marriage that was 2 decades long with children end in such a way. You know, marriage is something that people wish they could have in this life. I mean, I'm single. I wouldn't mind having a companion that I can rely on for the rest of my life. I would love that. And I can enjoy things with my partner and have a better experience in this life. But when you hear stories like this that involve married people, and I know that these are just, rare moments, not every marriage is like this, but when you hear or read moments like this, it just puts some sadness in your heart about, like, what was the point? Why would you do such a thing? Why would you just abandon your family? Why would you not communicate how you're feeling? Why would you just make a decision like this and then expect everyone to just be okay with it when you come back? I'm glad that OP has a spine, because there were some men in previous stories that I've read that are very spineless and just let their partners do whatever. I'm glad OP is not one of those people. I'm glad that the kids are on OP's side for the most part. And I'm glad that the ex-wife's family is on OP's side, because they didn't even want her around when she came by for Christmas. So clearly OP is getting the love and support that he deserves from his family and his kids. OP's ex-wife, well, I hope you have fun kicking rocks down the highway, because that's where you belong. But that's it for this story. I've babbled on enough. It's been like over 30 minutes. I've done enough babbling. But thank you for joining me on this story. Thank you for being with me on this time. I'm going to be trying to maintain a schedule of uploading videos more often, between Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. It's going to be a little difficult for me because, I have to deal with a lot of stuff behind the scenes that you guys won't see. But if this works out the way I think it will, it might help me actually grow a fan base and actually lead to some positive results. And it will help me be more determined on this path of being a content creator. Because I do enjoy reading these stories, and I really enjoy receiving feedback from you guys. I know a lot of you guys don't really comment. I know you guys sometimes just click, watch for a few minutes, and then leave. But to those of you that do watch from beginning to end, do know that from the bottom of my heart, I do appreciate each and every single one of you watching. I really do. I'm thankful for you. Thank you for supporting me on this journey. And to those of you who are new and watch the entire thing, thank you and welcome to the Reddit Nights channel. I hope you enjoyed your time here. And if you enjoyed stories like this, or if you want me to read more stories like this, please feel free to leave a comment, like, subscribe, and click the bell notification so you'll always know when I drop a video. And to help with the algorithm, watch other videos of mine. It really helps in the long run, and it helps me become a better content creator for you guys. And that way you guys get better content and more fun ways to kick back, relax, and hopefully some of y'all be sipping something nice while you're listening to this, maybe kicking back, I don't know. But for now, I bid you all adieu. And as always, stay safe and have a great day.